Hey traders, this is Dom. A new video which I hadn't done for a while. I was planning to do some daily ones a while back, and I started, and then I was too busy to do so, and so I'm back to it now. Hopefully, trying to make this a bit of a daily interaction. But talking about interaction, it's always good to have in exchange and communication with people who follow the channel. I know there aren't that many people. People prefer going to some flashy um, you know, channels which promise riches and make a lot of money from people who've been trading for not so long, which is always quite amusing watching. And they have way more than the number of subscribers to this channel. So it seems that one is easily lured by promises and smoke and mirror and they're getting better and better, to be honest, as channels, because they actually the content is now that you have ChatGPT, it's very easy to just copy another channel or copy something else and generate some content and just, you know, prepare a script and talk about things that one doesn't know a thing about. Anyway, um, just a side note, but I just wanted to really hopefully share what I've been sharing for a while and what I've been doing for a while, which hasn't changed. Again, I've been trading order flow, um, for many years, since 2010, so 15 years. And in truth, there are more tools, there are more, widgets and things that help to visualize the order flow, but the principles remain exactly the same. And everything I describe in the video, the way to look at the market profile, the way to look at the volume profile, the footprint, the order book, etc., really doesn't change. Now, I just want to do this quick video. I've been using since pretty much the beginning of it, Jigsaw Trading, which again has evolved a lot. And again, there are a lot of, software as well copying it, um, and who try to do exactly the same thing. And some I use share a chart as well. There are some new softwares doing the same thing, and it's I'm sure a lot of them are really good, but again, it's I like Sierra Chart because it's highly customizable, and Jigsaw is, really accurate, really good, works well for me. So that's what I've been using for a while, pretty much for 15 years as well. And I've added a new update yesterday, actually, um, which you can have on top of a chart, as I have here, or which you can have directly in there, on your member sort of space when you log in. And effectively, the idea here, so I've put it on top of the footprint chart here, just because I like to keep a footprint chart in front of me. Now, the interesting part here really is that if you're want to day trade, but you feel that you may not know enough about what makes the market and the prices move in terms of, news, economic releases, macroeconomic data, um, flows. So here, for example, we're looking at the ETF flows. We're looking at the the options. Not on this one actually, but commitment of traders and that sort of thing, which would have some influence certainly on the certainly on futures contracts. So there are flows that you want to look at. There are key levels you want to look at, and there are obviously, market news that affect the market one way or another. And of course, you have the calendar economic release. So I like to have them here. But here, really, the way it was done is that it's explaining, for example, the PPI is important today and explaining why, okay, in a very simple way. So higher than expected result is negative for the euro future because it boosts the US inflation, and dollar strength, therefore, lower than expected result is positive for the euro, i.e. the euro is going up and the dollar is going down, and vice versa. Is this higher than expected, then dollar is going up and the euro is going down. So if you, like me, trade euro dollar futures, that's the sort of thing that you care about. So very good addition. Again, and there's an overnight market action and summary as well, which is good. What happened yesterday? What happened overnight? What's the action plan for today? Again, one needs to have, everybody needs to have their own plan. So you can't just have a plan and follow what's there and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. You should have your own plan. In fact, what I tend to do, I have my own action plan here, very similar to here, where this is what I compile every morning, so that I know what to look at in conjunction of the actual microstructure itself. So I just wanted to share this. I think it's going to help a lot of people who don't really understand the news. It can be, quite frankly, counterintuitive. Example, some economic release may move the dollar up, but you still see the euro dollar going up as opposed to going down as well. So that happens, and the reason why it happens is because when the market feels confident, it will tend to take more risks, and taking more risk is not necessarily going to, when it comes to currency, pairs and currency futures, taking more risk, meaning investing or trading the more in what's deemed to be the more risky currency in the pair, for example. So there are some subtleties, and I think it's really good to have this explained. So I just wanted to do a video on that. And of course, as usual, really the idea is to read all of this, look at your market profile, try to understand which sort of opening we had versus the prior day. Are there any low volume nodes, high volume nodes, point of control, and finished business, single prints projected, from the previous, like I've shown before, from the previous days, and projected going forward. Where are we likely to go to? Here we can see when the top of the current, as an example, of the current profile as it stands. We've got an unfinished business here. How likely is it that from where we are that we go to 156.40? Well, it's fairly likely. Given all the other, components here, given looking at the footprint, looking at the cumulative delta, looking at the imbalances, looking at initiative trading, buyers and sellers and so on, and I would really be looking for a reversal when we get here. So that could be fading that two options here. Do we go to 115.51 to 15.46, i.e. 4 points or 5 points now, or do we wait until we get to that unfinished business? There's a TPO print just above, and then fade it, i.e. sell from there. Well, I don't know yet. It's an option, but when we get there, this is when I look at This is just giving me direction. That's Google Map, if you like. Then I look at the actual order book, which is going to tell me where the liquidity is. And then I look at the footprint, which is showing me the executed orders, the market orders, which ones were more aggressive, are there any imbalances, is there continuation, is there initiative selling, is there initiative buying, is there absorption, all that sort of thing, that good thing that you want to look at. And the delta, cumulative delta, are we going up with a negative delta, increasing data, or increasing, sorry, positive delta? It's all contextual, of course, but that's the sort of thing you want to look at. And of course, because we look at the market structure here, you can see that yesterday, aside from having unfinished business at the top, was an inside day compared to the previous day. So here it's not going to help us a lot, but normally if you break an inside A from the top or from the bottom, it will go at least, normally that's sort of a rule of thumb, it will at least go, if it's, you break it on the short side, and it will at least go to the bottom of the actual day before that, and vice versa. That would imply that if we break that top, then we're likely to at least reach the previous day's high. And because of the single print, that's what I was saying, I would push all the way to single print, and from there, in that area, it might not be just here, but in that area, I would look to fade it and short it. And in fact, that's what I'm going to do, because at this stage, if I go long now, we may not go there anyway, and it could be a case of or going too early. I think it's more sensible at this point, as I'm not in a trade, to fade it rather than try to take the train when it's nearly a destination, just for a few stations. Anyway, just wanted to share this, just wanted to share an update. As always, if you have any comments, any questions, anything to share, that's what the idea of my channel is. I'm not trying to sell some software or courses. I used to train people before on one-to-one only, which I still occasionally do. I don't look to, make money for that. I make money from trading. So, if I do so, it's more very reasonable price compared to what we see out there, which is crazy prices, which in my view is even more worse when there's self-proclaimed traders who, spend a year at some big name bank and did something else afterwards and self-proclaimed trading experts, which is fairly amusing. But anyway, I understand that everybody's different, everybody wants different things and is impressed by different things. But the point here is not so much who's doing it. The point is that the principle, the the plan, the way to go about each trading day, the way to trade, the order flow is not new at all. Even if there are channels with lots of shiny stuff and millions of, not millions, but thousands of followers and subscribers and very professional looking interviews of some apparently very successful prop traders. Fine. I it's great if they do, but again, the principle are exactly the same. What we look at is always the same stuff. Okay. You can see that, by the way, that for example, a footprint, a classic footprint, as you can see one here, is obviously read diagonally and not on the same line. Very simply because the bid and ask is, if you look at the order book, is in, you read it diagonally, right? It's not on the same level. So the way it's represented here is that helps you to read it the proper way. So really, I think, i.e. diagonally. So the whole point I feel with Jigsaw is that it really helps you if you don't feel necessarily super confident about the things, the action plan, the news, economic release, the way to look at the footprint, it makes it as easy as possible. It's not going to tell you what to trade, but the point is, it gives you all the tools so that you can be prepared um, properly. So I just wanted to share it. I think it's very useful. I think it's very good. I don't have any shares in that company or anything like that, even if I was one of the first users. But yeah, I think it's quality, and it's no surprise that some serious prop shop used it, as well as maybe another couple of order books. But Jigsaw is one that keeps coming back. So thank you a lot for watching. Any question, anything, don't hesitate to share. Thanks.